All right, so I'm speaking to Sierra Modro, Modro, September 26th, 2017. So Sierra, first of all, can you tell me a little about your business, maybe the elevator pitch of your business?
Sure. My business as it is right now, because it has gone through transformation, but my business as it is right now, I work primarily with small business and entrepreneurs to leverage technology to create a successful business that is hands-off. So I tend to work mostly in the area of technology integration and making businesses run and hum smoothly with little to no intervention.
Okay, so that seems very different than than where you were based on the videos that I watched.
Yeah, depending on which videos you watched, I have had two different. There's a corporate business that I would say, basically winding down a little bit. I doubt it'll go away, nor would I necessarily want it to. But I've been a technology futurist for many years, and in the corporate market, they have a real interest in technology futures and understanding the near-term emerging technologies that businesses can leverage to get ahead of the competition. That's been a very corporate focus because, frankly, most individuals don't care so much. I mean, the technology will happen, and most individuals don't have that kind of future vision the way businesses do. The business that is taking more of my time right now is under my Tech Happy Hour brand. And the Tech Happy Hour is more individual and entrepreneur focused. And it happened kind of by accident. I was doing videos on Facebook because I like to. I like doing videos. And the videos really started taking off. And I had a lot of people requesting topics for me to talk about on the videos. And then I had a turning point moment when an NSA friend of mine asked me some questions about some of the videos I'd been doing, and she said, "Can I hire you to help me with this integration that I was talking about, to train me? Because you don't give me a good way to give you money." And anytime someone says to me, "You're not giving me a good way to give you money," my ears perk up. And I realized that there's a business opportunity there. And that's when I really formed the Tech Happy Hour and started monetizing that business that I had been doing basically for free. And that's actually turning out to be both a whole lot of fun and quite successful.
And so how long have you been focusing on the entrepreneur or the small business?
This is September still. We're measuring this in months.
Okay.
I think 3 months, maybe 4.
Oh, so it's very new. Okay. All right.
Very, very new.
Okay.
Yeah, this came to me as a gift, so to speak, in late May from my friend's comment, and then I finally got everything in place and started doing Tech Happy Hour branded content in mid to late June.
Okay, and when you were speaking on the technology futurists, who was your ideal audience? Corporations, and who would be the titles of people?
Corporations and associations. It was typically upper management, the people within the organization who were setting strategy. Now, the specific titles for that varied by industry, but it was typically the C-suite and upper level of management level, depending on the specific industry and organization. I worked cross-industry because, frankly, the technology trends that affect are the trends themselves are the same. How that particular industry is impacted and their responses to those trends varied, but the actual trends themselves are basically the same across industries. So I was working typically with upper management and C-suite who set strategy around the business to align their business strategies with emerging technology trends.
So, who would be your ideal audience? Is their title? Chief Innovation Officer?
Most of the companies that I've worked with didn't have someone whose primary purpose was to watch for emerging technologies. The one thing that most people assumed that I wanted to talk to the director or vice president of IT. IT was rarely the right person to talk to. It was usually operations, CEO, people who were in charge of the strategy of the organization. So, and the strategist in an organization is typically either operations, CEO. Sometimes it's actually a committee, which is a little bit less likely to be successful. But it actually was not the technologist who I needed to talk to. It was the strategy setters.
And did you do much work in healthcare?
Not a lot in healthcare. Finance is actually the area that is most willing to look at technology trends, I would say.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, finance has been good for me.
And if you look at your revenue as a pie chart, what percent would be keynotes, training and workshops, consulting, products, etc.?
I'm probably doing some math in my head.
Okay.
Probably in the neighborhood of about 75% or so keynote, and about 25%, I would say, I'm trying to figure out what to call it. I would call it online revenue, which is a combination of webinars, recurring revenue that I have from my membership model stuff, and the content that I deliver virtually.
And that's the content you deliver virtually, that's not called a webinar?
A lot of times, no.
So that would be,
I'll be honest.
That would be like asynchronous learning?
Yeah, it's I have done situations where I've been doing a live presentation to one audience that is being simultaneously broadcast to remote audiences. I've done things that are more than what people think of as webinars. But the problem is that most organizations are not willing to pay very much money for webinars using that term. If you call it a virtual presentation, if you call it online training, if you call it practically anything other than a webinar, you get more money for it.
Okay. I'm just writing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read this just because we want consistency across the interviews. So we're trying to study best practice defined as having a CSP and a full-time speaking business whose revenues in 3 of the last 5 years is at least $100,000 per year. Does that in gross revenue? Does that describe your business?
Yes.
Okay. Did your revenue from your speaking business during any of the last 10 years exceed $250,000?
No.
Okay. When did you get your first paid or unpaid speech?
Oh, gracious.
Just like a year.
A very long time ago.
Okay.
Probably, I would say probably the one that I would count is about maybe 2002.
And was that paid or unpaid?
the way that we're defining paid now in NSA, it was paid. It was a part of my full-time job at that point, but it was specifically what got me into speaking, basically, as my job.
Okay. And what was that first talk on?
A highly technical subject. I was taking a particular foundation technology, software technology, and trying to convince a group of software engineers that they should use that new software technology.
Okay, all right. Just so you know, I'm an engineer, and I speak on advanced technology, so I'm with you.
Okay.
So no problem. No, it's okay. That's good enough. That's good. So when did you get your?
It was a DTCP/IP presentation.
Okay. All right. And when did you get your first paid speech? When you outside of your employer? What year?
Let me think. That would have been. Years get so confusing after a while.
Yes.
Let's see. This is 2017, so it probably was 2010, maybe.
Okay. And what was that talk on?
Oh golly, I wrote a book, and that book and the talks that I started with around that book were more around goal setting and understanding what you wanted to do with your life, basically.
Okay, and why?
Goal setting and career change.
Now, did you leave your job in 2010? Oh, who were you working for before?
I had spent about 25 years in high tech in corporate, working for a number of very large corporations like Intel, as technology evangelist and technology futurist. When I left corporate, which was in 2000, probably 2012 maybe. I'd have to go back and look, but it was probably 2012. It was shortly after I had written the book and thought that this was it, and I was going to go out and I was going to talk on something that had absolutely nothing to do with technology. That was dumb. But that's what I did. So when I left corporate, it was to speak in the areas of career transition, goal setting, and living a life you love.
Okay. I'm just writing.
I was very naive.
Well, I don't think so, but all right. And so let me just see here. So how did you get your first paid speaking gig in 2012?
Wow, you're really making me think. Let's see. I remember it was for HP, and I'm trying to think of how I think it was through networking. It was kind of a friend of a friend sort of thing. I had posted something on Facebook, and that's right. Yeah, I posted something on Facebook, and a friend of mine from church actually worked at HP and said, hey, I should connect you with this person who brings in speakers, and she did. And I ended up speaking, that was actually a virtual presentation to about 400 HP employees in 10 different countries.
Okay, let me just see here. So if you think of speaking mastery on a scale of 1 to 10, who would be your 10 on that scale?
Do you mean speaking literally like stage presence, sort of the?
As you define somebody who is a speaking master, who would that be? Your 10?
Probably Mark Scherenbrock.
Okay.
Possibly Scott McCain.
Okay. And how would you rate your delivery on the scale of 1 to 10 if 10 was Mark or Scott?
Probably about I'd give myself a 6.
Okay. And what have you done to perfect your delivery? Have you hired speaking coaches or whatever?
A lot of it's been practice, but practice with purpose. I've also, we have an advanced Toastmasters group that is made up of primarily NSA members. And as a part of that advanced Toastmasters group, we actually give parts of our keynote speeches, parts of our actual presentations to each other to get critique from other professional speakers.
Oh, it's a nice idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving to content expertise. If on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 were Peter Drucker, say, in management, or Deming in quality, how would you rate your content expertise?
Probably about an 8.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, have you read all the books on your topic? If 1 is you don't read and 10 is you read everything on your topic, how would you score yourself?
Oh gosh, I think it would be literally impossible to read everything on my topic. There aren't enough hours in the day. But I would probably put myself really high because I spend several hours a day reading. Maybe a 9.
Okay. And have you done original research, like best practice interviews, formal interviews on your topic? If 1 is no, and 10 would be years of formal quantitative surveys and data analysis, how would you rate your the formal research that you've done, original research?
2.
Okay. Your book, how important was your book to your success? If 1 is nothing to 10, you could not have done it without your book, how would you rate it?
1.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, now this is the essentially the heart of the interview. This is the hard part. Originally, what was driving the interview was I thought there was a hockey stick phenomenon in a speaker's career, and I was trying to find out what can speakers do to get to that hockey stick phenomenon faster, that inflection point. So I'm looking at a graph. On the horizontal axis, it's years from 1 to 20, and on the vertical axis it's gross revenue. So if we start, let me just think here. So it's kind of hard. You weren't getting paid extra for teaching when you were before 2012, or were you?
No, I wasn't.
So let's say if year 1 is 2012, approximately what was your gross speaking revenue?
In 2012?
Correct.
Practically nothing.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, probably maybe $10,000.
Okay. All right. And then in 2013?
2013 was a bit better. I'd have to actually go look at numbers, but I'm going off my gut feel.
That's okay, just approximate.
Memory at this.
That's fine.
Probably at that point, maybe 20.
Okay, fine. And then in 2014?
Okay, so 2014 was 3 years ago. Now we're actually getting to time periods that I remember a little bit better.
Good.
2014 was a jump. That was probably about 80.
Okay. And we'll come back to why the jump. And then 2015?
Let's see, 15, 17, 16, 15. Okay. 15 was probably about 110.
Okay. And then 16?
About 175.
That's great. Okay, so if we look, so it looks like you had a couple of jumps in your business. From 2013 that you went from 20 to 2014 where you went to 80. What did you do in your business to get that jump?
That was I hate saying it this way because it makes it sound, I don't know what, something, but it always felt to me like that was a lucky break. It was a lucky break based off of years of preparation, but it was a lucky break.
Okay.
What happened was there was someone in one of my audiences early in the year who absolutely loved what I was doing and brought me in to speak at their organization. And as a result of that first presentation at that organization, I ended up getting hired by one client in that year to do 9 or 10, something like that, presentations for that single client. That ended up, because I was doing all those presentations internationally, it was this positive flywheel that I was getting good spin-off from that because the client who had brought me in was well respected, and I was doing a good job at what I was doing on stage. So it was getting me good spin-off from that as well. So that ended up just getting a very positive flywheel. Okay,
all right, good. And then let's say from 2015 to 2016, that was a big jump, from 110 to 175. How did that happen?
I did get, in that year, I got a contract to do, it was kind of in some ways a similar thing. I got a contract to do multiple presentations. I did 15 presentations for one client that year in, oh God, how many countries did I go to? I went to 10 countries for that client that year. And so that was a big dollar contract. And again, it ended up with some really nice nice spin-off. Whilst I was in the various locations internationally, I was frequently able to spin that into another presentation whilst I was there.
So you must have hit on you must have hit on a problem that they needed solving. For this one client where you gave 9 talks and this other one where you gave 15. Do you know what was that problem that they said, wow, we have that problem, we need you to come and speak to us?
Yeah, there's 2 things. One is that, and this is the blunt version.
Okay.
There aren't many women who do what I do.
Okay, right.
So, being a woman in my field is by by itself an advantage.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they just don't have female choices to bring in for some of these things.
Yep.
So it was a little bit of a novelty from that standpoint. The other is that the field that I'm in, technology, not only are there not many women, there also aren't many qualified technologists who are articulate, can speak well, and still understand the technology. A lot of the people who are in the field who are good speakers are poor engineers, or they're great engineers and they're very poor speakers.
Yep.
So having that combination of good communication skills, good engineering skills, and wrapping it up in an unexpected package, frankly, being female and being reasonably attractive and reasonably feminine, I know was something that helped set me apart from a lot of other people who they could have potentially hired.
Okay, so, but what was the problem that resonated that they needed you to fix?
Oh, more specifically, the first client that I had, that got me to first jump.
Yeah.
That particular client was needed somebody to come in and help with training on a software program that they were rolling out to multiple sites. So that was more of a training sort of situation, and I was early enough in my career that I was taking, frankly, just about anything that people were willing to pay me decent money on.
Yep.
So it was more of a training kind of thing.
Okay.
The second one, the second big jump was a company that was rolling out a new software development platform, and I was a technical spokesperson, essentially, for the company. So I was going out and doing presentations on behalf of that company to their clients, because they didn't have anybody in-house who could adequately present or arrange the presentations for the rollout of this new software development platform.
Okay, so you were a spokesperson for them.
Yeah, it was a combination of spokesperson and technical training. The two got, because when I say spokesperson, that makes me feel all Vanna White or something.
Okay.
Where it was something that required the engineering background that I had, because
Perfect.
I needed to be able to answer technical questions. I needed to be able to do coding on the fly, and generally be able to be convincing
Okay.
to a group of other technologists.
All right, so let me just see here. So if we think of NSA, what role has NSA played in your success?
NSA has played a huge role, and primarily around teaching me my own value. Because at the time when I first went out on my own, and I joined NSA at just about the same time, but because I qualified for professional membership fairly quickly. But at the time when I went out on my own, I didn't have a very good understanding of this industry or this business. And so I've gotten the deep understanding that I have of the speaking business, I've gotten through NSA. And I don't know any other place where I would have gotten it as well or as quickly. The other is that I have consistently been able to raise my fees because I have gotten such good feedback from other NSA members about understanding my